And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to New York Red Bulls Discussion Group, the podcast. Welcome to episode 156. Garry Redmond here at your service. Greetings and salutations. Well, we know exactly what did not happen in Charlotte. They lost. They had an opportunity to make some ground despite everything falling their way as far as the standings are concerned. The good news is they're over the playoff line. Of course, we're going to recap the disaster that was Charlotte FC versus New York Red Bulls. Of course, we're going to turn the page in the second segment where we're going to talk about their next home game, which is versus Columbus SC. And that'll take place on Saturday. After that, of course, there's an international break. Plus, of course, naturally, the updates, reviews, and previews on New York, New Jersey, Gotham FC, and, of course, the New York Red Bulls 2 matches. Red Bulls 2, they did some work over there, got it done. And Gotham FC, despite running around for 90 minutes, nothing happened, no score. We're going to talk about that and wonder what's going on with Gotham FC lately. They've been dropping points at a place where they really shouldn't be, and they're hanging on to the very final playoff spot, just like the Red Bulls, okay, in 8th place, unlike in 9th. Now, of course, naturally, as you know, the live stream is going on right now, and you can always catch the recording on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. X, formerly Twitter, and of course our home at the very beginning, Spotify.com. Now, if you missed the live show, don't worry about it. All of those shows will be uploaded on Wednesday for your listening and viewing pleasure. And of course, naturally, if you have any questions regarding this particular podcast, the debates or anything else, and of course, naturally, of course, the show in general, please email us. We have an email address, rbdgthepodcast@gmail.com. That's rbdgthepodcast, one word, at gmail.com. Send those emails, and even after we sign off tonight, we love reading them, of course, in the next show. We found a few that can question about, well, there's supposed to be a there's supposed to be a press release. Of course, naturally, Julian de Guzman will be present, and I'm sure the fans will definitely have something to say. And of course, last but certainly not least, happy birthday to Billy Lasso Jr. and Liv Constantino. Happy birthday to you both. Hope you're enjoying and yet another year among us, along with some family and friends. So go out there and celebrate. Don't even worry about the Red Bulls right now. They'll still be there, of course, stinking up the joint left there. But go out and celebrate, everyone. And so that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And of course, time to bring in my Lanre and Badmus cannot join us because of other commitments, unfortunately, but he will be in a couple of weeks. Of course, I have to bring in the rant man, known as Miguel Nunez. Miguel, how was your weekend, bruh?
You know what? It was up and down, okay?
Up and down, okay.
The Arsenal handed Leeds United a massive 5-goal pounding, and then the next
already I feel sorry for Leeds. I really do. They fought their way there only to get clocked in week 2.
Yeah,
they got carpet bombed in week 1. They get clocked in. I don't know if they're going to be staying. We'll talk about that later in the show, about teams making up the ladder, of course, in Pro Rel. That's why I tell people, be careful what you wish for when it comes to Pro Rel. But it's getting to the point where, some teams that come up in the championship and they don't stay long, don't they? But in the second half, of course, then the Red Bulls game started.
Yeah, and then yesterday,
yeah.
I told you, Garry, that the performance by the New York Red Bulls was just so bad, Garry. It was just painful to watch. Okay, it's just painful. It was like I don't know how I could describe it. Was that even football? I feel sorry for Emil Forsberg and Chupo. Okay, that's what I gotta say. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, no. I mean, you're absolutely right there. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I sat there watching the game, and I can't tell you how many times I shook my head so much where I had to get Advil.
Right, right.
Okay, because my head was hurting. I mean, my head was also hurting, but by the not just on the play, but the execution. The execution stunk. I mean, I've never seen a team had so much trouble making passes, stringing them together. They had opportunities, but yet every time when they strung, get this, every time when they strung passes together, what happens? Turnover. It was like one pass, two pass, three pass, turnover. And then they got to fight to get the ball back. Then they got to start all over again. One pass, two pass, three pass, another turnover.
Listen,
It
Garry,
was getting. It was like I was screaming. I'm like, guys, guys. I mean, the thing that was driving everyone nuts that watched the game, Charlotte wasn't that great either. Okay, both teams was like, it was like watching, it was like watching a bunch of bulls stuck on the mud. Okay, fighting their way through. I mean, they didn't look like they were housing the Rebels. In many cases, the Rebels were the better team. And every time when someone mentions that, I go, "Oh no, don't say that. Disaster happens, right?" So this is the thing that that would drive fans nuts. And as we tune in, we got Lisa, we got Tom Potvin. They're all they're all you're putting their 2 cents in, and man, they came in with change to spare. I mean, this is you know this is a problem with this squad. So I'm going to ask this one question before we go to the to the match recap. Is this on Sandro? Your thoughts?
my thoughts, it's not on him. Okay,
Okay, tell
he's
me
got.
why.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I can point out to that discussion in the discussion group today. Okay,
Okay,
where I think it started off saying like, you know what? If Sandro Schwartz is going to be the manager next season,
he
the
will be.
coach, the head coach, because I'm giving up my season tickets, and I forget who put it on there, but it's not
Let
his. He's gotta just. He's only got so much to work with, Garry. Okay. Usually, it looks like he's coaching a USL team with two outliers. Okay,
not
being
much.
Chupo and Emil. Okay, that's what it looks like most of the time. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
what
yeah.
what
Keep
can
going.
he do? What is he expected to do? Work freaking magic? He did it last season. Okay, I mean, I besides Chupo, that was a better team, like behind the forward line. Okay, in my estimation. But yeah, man, it's not on him. This is just my 2 cents worth. Okay, go ahead.
Well, Jeffrey Wright Phillips, one of our top contributors of the group, had a perfect response. It said, "You can't make a steak dinner if all you have is hot dogs in the fridge,"
Right,
and
right.
he's right. He's absolutely right. I mean, all he is there is basically cook the food and serve the food. He doesn't bring the groceries. That's on the sporting director. That's on the head of sport. And if I
Right.
had an opportunity, basically, to sit down with both of them, I'll be asking them a very simple question: What are you doing? I
Okay.
mean, what's going on here? I mean, the fans expected a massive encore. They expected the team to be fighting for the top spots, in not only in the Eastern Conference, but maybe in the Supporters Shield table. The idea was to get back to MLS Cup and not wait almost 40 something years to get there. Okay. This team is not, even if they do make the playoffs, I'm afraid they're not going to get very far. Again, once they get into one of the top tier teams in the Eastern Conference, out you go, and then we'll have to be focused on on the of the off season. But that's not what the fans want. Fans want another deep run, deeper this time, legitimately, and challenge for the cup. We ain't that squad, boss. We ain't that, we're not
Listen,
going to be that squad, boss. I've been saying it for 5 years. 5 years. I'm not saying it anymore. This is not enough. I even predicted. You heard me, Miguel. You heard me. I even
yeah,
predicted this is going to be a stacked conference this year. And if you
yeah.
don't muscle up, you're going to be the one falling behind, trying to catch that last spot and hoping you don't get knocked out. But that's where we are right now.
And they did not muscle up, Garry. Okay, they did not muscle up. They didn't get the players, and I'm not even talking about like top players from overseas.
We're not talking right.
In the Chupo Emil mode, for instance, but you could have certainly got MLS veterans. You could have certainly got some veteran players from Central America, South America. Come on, man. What are they doing? As Taylor Twellman said, what are we doing?
What are we doing? This is what the fans have been asking for a long time. They're blaming the coach, they're blaming the player. Well, obviously, this is on the players. Let's not give those guys a pass. This is on the ballers. If your midfielders can't string passes together and turning them over every time you touch the ball, there's something wrong, and you're doing it wrong. Okay,
Garry.
This is the thing that drives me nuts. I'm like, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, turnover. Come on,
Garry. Lower division teams in the English leagues look like Barcelona in comparison to the Rebels with their passing. Come on, man.
Tiki-taka.
Come on.
It's a thing of beauty, tiki-taka, but this team ain't exactly for tiki-taka. With this team is this. This is the other thing that drives me nuts. Listen, for the last couple of seasons, does it look like Red Bull soccer to you? Run, press them to death, right?
Right.
This is a style that you hate, but it's effective, right? Run, press, cough up the ball, throw the ball right down your throat and score.
Right. With a squad like this, that's what they have to do, man. But they have a lot of guys that like in the back, they're not the speedsters that they once were.
You don't have fast defenders.
Yeah.
You don't have fast wingers.
Our top guys up front, Emil and Chupo, they're not speedsters, man.
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, they're not. I said this, not too long ago with a couple of guys, in the press box. I'm like, you know what? We're playing slower, and that's a tribute to Chupo and to a degree, to Forsberg. Quality guys. This is the reason why they're hawking. This reason why other defenses are hawking those dudes, because you don't want them loose. But the catalyst is the person who's missing, and that's Lewis Morgan. Okay,
right.
He was supposed to be the guy standing, sitting there behind or next to, Forsberg, and picking the defense apart. You don't have him. Okay, you also don't have one of the fastest guys that we had on the team. And and that is Harper.
That's another guy.
He was basically having an all-star year before he went down. Okay, so we're not blaming the injuries. We're just saying it's a catalyst of what things are right now. They are a faster team with those guys on the pitch than without. Speaking of which. And I know a lot of people are asking, Garry, why are you doing this? Because we are contractually obligated to do so. Here is the match recap for the game that took place last night. And I hate to say this, only one goal was scored.
Charlotte FC have won 6 games in a row. Can they make it 7? Or will the New York Red Bulls make things a little bit tighter? Nathan Byrne over to Kerwin Vargas. Westwood. Byrne, Veronico, tries to draw a penalty, he does! 6 minutes in, Charlotte going to the spot.
Well, the initial look was, it looked like Raheem Edwards didn't get a touch of Grant Veronico, but that is a great look there. Left foot coming in late when he announces it to the public. Here in Charlotte, here you go.
Here's the decision.
After review, the attacker initiates the contact. No penalty, final decision. Draw ball.
Kalina goes down to make the save. Edelman, not a big goal scorer for the Red Bulls. '30th minute now, just one shot in the first 30 minutes. It was Edelman's from distance a moment ago. Neither team seems to have really kind of found their rhythm. What do New York and Charlotte need to do?
I think New York's been the better team, quite honestly, for the game plan, and yet, as I say that, bad giveaway.
Here's Toklamani running at Ayla, has Vargas to his right. Vargas is forward. Vargas scores!
Unreal.
Nothing for 30 minutes, and just like that, Dean Smith's Charlotte FC take the lead. Cowan Vargas makes it 1-0.
And New York's been the better team. They came in here to make it difficult for Charlotte at home. From Sofo right here at midfield, Toklamani one-on-one. Now you've got Vargas, Zaha, dynamism, pace in a variety of ways. An absolute gift against the run of play. And yet this is what Charlotte has done. 6 games in a row they've won. A gift from the Red Bulls. Now they're up 1-0 at home against a run of play in a massive game in the Eastern Conference. Good finish from Vargas. Better celebration.
And now it's Forsberg. Drives it low and right at Kalina. Made its way to Forsberg. Toffolo has played it into Choupo-Moting. He lets it run across. Slides it to Edwards. Edwards drives it right at Kalina. Spills it, but gets back on it.
Well, this is right after this play. You can see Toffolo at the bottom of your screen.
Direct for Choupo-Moting, holding off Malanda.
Play.
Leaving it. Carmona!
Oh, goodness.
Just wide.
Because even just winning one, they still could have made it difficult for the home teams and put them under pressure and scored goals. Oh, great time.
Parker down. Toklamani is in. Toklamani is saved by Cornell.
Toklamani has scored goals. He has also shown the ability to play in wide areas. He is using the pace, running right by Tim Parker, where Tim Parker's not very comfortable chasing players into the channels. And he looks up, and it's just him and Cornell. And oftentimes you want to hit this low and hard.
Zaha, Dunkor steps up. Edwards on his left. Drives it over. Christian Kalina tasked with making it difficult for the Charlotte goalkeeper on this corner. But Edwards will take into the near post.
Oh, my goodness.
Hit the post. Hit the crossbar. As Hall cuts inside, now Choupo-Moting. Still time for New York. Serge Goma. Goma across!
Oh, my goodness.
Forsberg puts it over!
15 years the New York Red Bulls have made the playoffs. 15 years straight. They made MLS Cup last season. And yet this year, it's been a difficult time. Yes, they have more points, but only 8 goals scored in 14 games on the road. Forsberg off his shoulder, and the Red Bulls lose.
That was the final moment of this match. It's over in Charlotte. Charlotte FC win their 7th straight game, their club record 15th of the year.
And, of course, as you can all see, Charlotte winning 1-0. Vargas in the 30th minute thanks to a wonderful gift by Mohamed Sofo. So at this point, Miguel, throughout all the road games they've had now, so 14 road games, they 7 points. That's it for the New York Red Bulls. That's not going to get it done. Things have to change. This is probably the reason why fans are up in arms.
I will say that Emil should have scored there in the last second.
So did he?
However,
we saw how he collapsed.
Yeah,
I mean,
he might have been offside. So even if he would have scored, but I think he should have put it in. And
I noticed there was a lot of soft shots.
Yeah, soft shots.
I mean,
my God.
I mean, you got to bang that in there somehow. I mean, with the force of hitting a baseball bat with a fastball. No, I mean, you just made it easy for the guy. I mean, you didn't make him dance. You didn't make him do anything. Okay, he was basically a statue. Okay,
Right.
the only person that was dancing around, of course, was Coronel, which there was the one kick save that he made, which saved the Red Bulls at that point from going down 2-0. So that's it's I know there's some other, of course, things that the ones to talk about. Wiki Carmona includes 5,000 minutes played in tonight's match. Some people think he shouldn't be playing at all. Carlos Coronel, the passed Sean Davis for fifth place in franchise history for most minutes played by a Red Bulls player against all competitions, and that's the only good news there. Now, there's one little good news, ladies and gentlemen. Despite the loss, the Red Bulls are still in ninth place. They didn't lose. They didn't move up. They had a chance to move up had they won. They had a chance to solidify that spot had they won, but they didn't move down because of it. Is that a good thing, Miguel, or is that just delaying the inevitable?
Yeah, I can't see them making the playoffs this year, Garry. Okay, so I think it's just delaying the inevitable. Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't think it would be a good thing either.
I don't think go ahead.
I don't think it's going to be a good thing even if that they don't make the playoffs, because they're just going to continue, I think, with the same crap, next season. Okay, I think they're always shooting for like, okay, listen, if we make the playoffs, that's what we're shooting for. That's our trophy, like at Arsenal. Yeah, Arsene Wenger used to shoot for the fourth place trophy, so we could make the Champions League. The Red Bulls are shooting for that, whatever ninth spot, so we can make the playoffs. And then you could call that a successful season, Garry.
No, I don't think. Yeah. I mean, I don't think. To me, the metric, my metric of a successful season.
Yeah,
is, right? My metric is, hey, get some silverware, which they've done last year. Okay, whatever you want to call it, they got some silverware. Okay. It's a conference championship, which is something that you don't sneeze at. Hey, you made it to the final. What did I say? If you win the East, you're in the final. So that's the end of that.
Right.
But and you do get a trophy out of that. But is it a successful season? No. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're going to be in the final, you got to win it. And the whole idea is to get back there. And Miguel and I are going to talk about having somewhat of a debate whether or not there's merits behind what a lot of fans feel. A lot of fans feel there should be ownership change, should be a general manager change, should be players change. All that is valid of the fans' feelings. Some of them have made announcements saying, "Hey, I'm not buying season tickets this year." Honestly, I can't see why you shouldn't. Okay, I don't see why you shouldn't, because the way I look at this, team, it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. It doesn't inspire a lot of faith. It doesn't inspire a lot of good feelings. Where every team you face, you fold, but you do well at home, which is great. But playing well only at home and only scoring 7 points on the road doesn't get it done. Another one of my metrics. I'm sure you've heard me say this before, Miguel. Good teams win at home. Great teams win, period. They're not a great team.
Right.
They're a good team.
Right. At
home. But they're not. I mean, look at Philly. Philly is airtight at home. But you know what they also do? They win on the road. I mean, why can't, I'm saying to myself, okay, if Philly can do this, why can't we? The league is built on parity, which a lot of people hate, okay? The league is built on parity, okay, where every given night, every given Saturday, someone is knocking out the big boys. You got the guys at the bottom of the table knocking out the guys on the top. That just generates a lot of excitement. A lot of fans don't like that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why you have 9 spots for the playoffs, which I really prefer 4. Okay, I prefer
Yeah.
4. The rest they can able to automatically the rest of the teams 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 and 9 they can qualify for like I don't know third round of the U.S. Open Cup or something like that. Okay, or the Champions League like that. Give them something for next year. But no, you don't deserve the playoffs. If you ain't the top 4, you're out. Have a nice day. You're out. Play
Right,
better
right.
next year. I mean, when they went from 6 to 9, I was like, oh come on, too many squads, way too many squads. And but in the league of parity, any one of those teams it's a new competition for them. It ain't the regular season. So that's the one thing about the Red Bulls is that for some crazy reason they play pretty well against these competitions until they run into teams like Philly or something like that, which is airtight at home. But you get my drift, y'all. Right
Yeah.
now, and I have to agree with Lisa. 3 of our 6 remaining games, boys and girls, are on the road. They have to win all 3. I don't see this team making it. I mean, the only way that I see them, they're going to have to win at home. They don't have a choice. Like I said, every game is a de facto playoff game. You're in the hole in one game. Now you're going to play the rest. It doesn't get easier for these guys, and it doesn't get easier for us, does it, Miguel?
No. I think we're going to have to win all 3 of our home games and at least one
2.
away game, but at least one, and see if results fall our way. Okay.
Got to hope for that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Gotta hope for that. All right. There's a lot of there's a lot of reason to feel a little down on the team, but that's okay. But of course, speaking of that home game, up next is the Columbus Crew. Miguel is going to tell everybody what's been doing with the Columbus Crew since the last time we faced those boys. And the picture, for some reason, for them, don't look quite pretty. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 30 seconds with the story of the Columbus Crew SC. Columbus Crew SC. Last I checked, those guys are higher in the table as they should be. As a matter of fact, they are. Miguel, what's been going on with that crew since that crew? What's been going on with that crew since we last faced those dudes?
Well, they're in 7th place right now, Garry. So they're a good 6 points ahead of us with 27 games played. NYC's right behind them. They do have a game in hand with 44 points. We have played one more game than the Columbus Crew, and we have 39 points. Okay, so I think it's a must-win game, Garry. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like
based on what we saw last weekend and the weekend before, and the results after that. Yeah, it's a must-win game. It's a 6-pointer. Hate to say this, but
right, it's a 6-pointer, and if we win, we can get to 42 points, and they're not going to gain any, and we just gotta hope results go our way, as far as, like, for instance, NYCFC. Okay, maybe somebody can do. I don't know who they got next. But maybe one of these teams can do us a favor. Okay, because it'd be nice to get in there as as the 8th place team, and maybe we could even catch up on Columbus.
Here's the thing.
Okay? Yeah.
Here's the thing. New England, they lost to New England 2-1, so they're hurting right now. Okay. So, this is a game they have to have. Otherwise, they're going to wind up slipping on the banana peel and dropping us, which they do not want to have. Now they picked up a forward. Okay. Let's see here. Yep. The guys back in Exville, they got 4 goals. Abrone got 1 goal. Shambos got 1 thing. Rossi. That name's for should be should name it for
Diego
everybody.
Rossi. Yeah, he was.
Diego Rossi. He's got
He,
13. He's
yeah,
got 13 goals.
He was at LAFC, if I'm not mistaken, and then he went off somewhere else. I don't know where he went. Did he go to Mexico? But then he's back in the league now. Okay,
Yes.
So he's showing his class. He's got 13 goals. Okay, and I don't know. And also, Gary, just looking at the standings, Miami's like in 6th place, but they have several games in hand. Okay.
Yeah. They'll make up the difference when it's all said.
Yeah.
Just a reset on the standings. What Miguel was talking about. Philadelphia's in front with 54 points. Cincinnati 52. Nashville 50. That's going to be a tight race all the way to the finish. 4th place is Charlotte after that win over us. Leapfrogged over everybody. Now they have not only a 4th spot, but they also, if the season ended today, they get a home game when it's all said and done. Orlando right behind them with 47 points. Miami 46, Columbus 45, NYCFC 44, Red Bull 39, Chicago 39. We're up there because of goal difference, thanks to the beatdown that Chicago suffered from Philadelphia at home. Then it's New England, Toronto, Montreal, Atlanta, and then finally DC United. Somehow, even no matter what happens, seeing DC United at the bottom of the table basically brings a smile to my face. Hey, what can I say? That is the Western picture. Then that's the Eastern picture. In the Western Conference, San Diego FC. My goodness, they're just simply, they're right now 2nd in the Supporter Shield table. Right behind them is Minnesota with 50 points, Vancouver 49, Seattle Sounders in 4th with 44, LAFC with 41, Portland 38, Colorado also 36. Right behind them is San Jose, Miguel. Right behind them, with 35 points, also with 35 points, but hanging on to the 9th spot by a thread is Austin FC. Then it's of course Real Salt Lake with 31, Dallas with 30, Houston with 29, Sporting Kansas City. Remember those guys at Sporting Kansas City? But they used to be the boss of the Western Conference. How times have changed. Okay,
Yeah.
So they're 24. The original Metro's captain, Peter Vermees, is no longer with that club. He took his blueprint. As much as I don't want, I don't want to start any trouble. How would you like Peter Vermees is the next club for the Red Bulls, and he's sporting director.
Right. That guy knew how to bring in some MLS veterans, Gary. Okay. That's how he built the squad, and several key pieces from overseas, man.
Didn't do much, but he got a lot of Americans, and they got bought into a system, and then before you know it, they won not one but 2 titles. So there you go. So after them is St. Louis City. Whew, I expect the St. Louis City, not to be hugging up me. And then, of course, the perennial wooden spoon, soon-to-be champion is L.A. Galaxy. They won they won the cup. They won 6. I mean, trust me, those fans ain't sweating it right now. They're enjoying 6 rings on their fingers, and we're still struggling with 1. So,
yeah, that's insane, Gary, that the LA Galaxy can go from winning MLS Cup to fighting a battle against relegation.
Well, to be honest with you, it has happened before. It has happened multiple times before.
Yeah, it has. You know what the insane thing is? Like, San Diego just got into the league right this season, man.
They built that squad. The way they built that squad. Okay, they started with Chucky Lozano and
Chucky.
Right.
Come on.
Chucky Lozano, and they just built around him. Okay. One of our defenders, of course, Andres Reyes, who unfortunately broke his leg, and unfortunately he's out for the year. So I would like to have him back, but hopefully, but then again, you don't know what type of player you're going to get with Andres Reyes. let's move along from there. Speaking of Columbus Crew, by the way, which is our next game, and our next game thread, match 29, game 31, takes place at 7:45. It'll be at Sports Illustrated Stadium. Head to head, 33, 35, and 13 at Harrison, 23, 15, and 6. This is going to be their 96th all-time meeting. Last time we faced those guys was in that playoff game, and it was one goal was scored by guess who? Felipe Carballo.
Carballo, yeah.
That was the first of his Thunderbolts. The second one was against NYCFC, that to this very day shook the very foundation of Citi Field. Oh my Lord! I never heard a roar that loud when he scored that goal over in Queens. So more on that, that's on that. So,
well, Garry, let me just tell you, I heard a louder goal, a roar than that at MLS Cup last year. Okay, when Neely scored that goal. Okay, that was like a tremendous roar.
Oh yeah, I mean I've heard it. I've heard that, and I was like, okay, here we go. Come on, let's get another one. And another one didn't come. So
right, exactly.
I was feeling very, very depressed after that. I was just like, oh man, we're gonna fall short again. But Columbus, they need this game. Red Bulls need it more. How do you see this? How do you see this coming out, man? Is it going to be a rock fight, or is it going to be something more entertaining? I don't know, but I think this is going to be, a real tight match coming in here. But both teams looking to do some damage to each other.
Yeah, man, Garry, I'll take a crap game with a New York Red Bulls victory. I don't care. Okay, we just got to get the points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Points, not points. Right.
Points. We have to get 3 points.
Points.
Okay. And it doesn't matter how they do it, but we got to get 3 points. Okay. It's imperative. Okay. There you go.
All right.
And how do I see it going?
Yeah.
I think we're going to lose. Okay.
Huh?
Thank you very much.
Normally, you're always the cockeyed optimist. Not tonight, though.
No.
Somebody knocked the cockeyed optimist right out of me. So, okay, you're seeing this a loss?
Loss. That's what I'm saying, Garry. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong, New York Red Bulls. Thank you.
Okay. Speaking of goalless games, Gotham FC and Utah Royals rolled around for about 90-plus minutes. Nothing happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Ended the score 0-0. Should we be concerned about Gotham right now? This is the second game, and first of all, the first game before that was a shocking loss when they lost the game in extra time, scored a goal, gave up one, an own goal, and then in the 92nd minute, some chick from Houston scored the goal in the 96th minute, and it was a loss, and you follow up a loss with a 0-0 draw here.
Yeah,
they're sitting in 8th place. Should we be worried about Gotham right now?
Yeah, right. They're firing blanks at home. Like you mentioned, the home team should be winning games at home. Okay, they drew this one, and then the last home game, which I was there, that was 0-0 as well. So that's like 4 points dropped at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should be concerned about Gotham. Just making the playoffs.
Oh well.
There you go.
The thing about Gotham is that they assembled a very decent squad, and when you have Esther Gonzalez as your point girl, scoring goals left and right, you have to wonder if there's someone other than her banging them in, because my thing with Gotham is that you got a very good team. Not only that, you have one of the best goalkeepers out there. Okay, anchoring a very good defense. So, the question is, okay, if that's the case, why are you guys in 8th place again? That's because there are other teams playing out of their minds ahead of them. But unfortunately, their next game, they're on the road versus Orlando Pride, and that will take place on Friday at 8 p.m. So that's where that takes place. Meanwhile, New York Red Bull 2, that's where you put up, New York Red Bull 2, they went over to, they went down to, they played versus Chicago Fire 2 and got a win. They got their revenge. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Gutierrez with the lone goal in the 65th minute. That put them, and thanks to that win, boys and girls, New York Red Bulls 2, they clinched the playoff spot. So they still hold the number one seed, of course, in the Eastern Conference. Huntsville City right behind them with 43 points. Philadelphia Union 2, 42. Chicago Fire 2, 41. And New England also 41. Chattanooga also, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 3 teams all sharing 41 points. Toronto FC 2 with 34. And New York City 2 hanging on by a thread, the final and 8th playoff spot right now with 32 points. Orlando City B right behind them with 30. Carolina Core also with 30. Crown Legacy 29. Cincinnati 2, 29. Atlanta United 2, 25. Inter Miami 2, 22. And Columbus Crew 2, who the Red Bulls 2 are going to play next. They are dead last with 17 points. No, not dead last in the table, however. That belongs to Sporting Kansas City too. My goodness, what's going on with Sporting Kansas City? They were the top of the table. They were the best team in the league. People couldn't stop saying nice things about them. Now look what they are. I mean, the team is the bottom of the table. The team is there near, also at the bottom of the table. We're not going to worry too much about them. New York Red Bull 2 playoffs. How we looking? I know all of us are going to be going out there to check that out, but they changed coaches, right? They brought in Bradley. Has the two side impressed you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've watched a couple of games on the TV, and they're looking pretty good. They're passing the ball nice. With this win, Garry, this past win against Chicago, they avenged that. It was like a 9-2 loss,
beat down, right,
against Chicago. But that said, they were down a man. Okay, right. So and one of these things, what Michael Bradley wants to do with this team is that they want to score, okay? So, like, even if they're down a man, they're going for it, okay? This league, I would say, Garry, is more like one of these academy developmental teams than an actual pro team looking to get points at all costs. That's my take on it. Also, Garry, I got to tell you that I was reading the stats, and Juan Mina, remember him? Oh, yeah. Gary Mina's brother. He's back from Portugal, and he made his first appearance for New York Red Bulls.
It just goes to show you the dynamics of how this team is, right? I mean, a guy who we all thought that he was going to start didn't even crack the lineup once.
Right.
You had and because of that, to work on his development, you had to loan him away, right? You had to put him somewhere. The loan expired, you brought him back, and we're all thinking, what'd you bring him back for? Because he's not going to crack the lineup. We haven't even seen just how good this guy is, but from what we're told, he's got the stuff. But, I mean, he let's put it this way. He can only help that squad because he definitely has some skills. But we'll see, where that is down the line. Now, in case you're wondering, with New York Red Bull 2, they're going to be at home against Columbus Crew 2. So the Red Bulls will be taking on the Columbus Crew organization. One is a massive game that's going to take place at Sports Illustrated Stadium with the senior team, and on the next day, the junior team will be facing off. The junior squad will be facing off, of course, at MSU Soccer Park. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 o'clock. I would make more games if they weren't on Sundays. I wish it was on Fridays. The reason why it was on Fridays is because I could actually get out there using New Jersey Transit.
Yeah.
Sundays is my day of rest. After working, and everything else, I needed, need a day off. So that's where it is. Where it is. Okay, you said it's going to be a loss for for Columbus Crew. I'm thinking a win.
Okay.
Why? Because they have to. They don't have a choice.
All right.
If they follow up the loss on the road with a loss at home, that will ultimately doom their season. They don't want that to happen. Okay? Not when the Hudson River Derby come in place in 2 weeks' time after that. So they need as much points as they can get at home while they can get it. So they're not going to trip or slip on the banana peel if that if they think the fans are up in arms over this. Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine there's going to be an outright riot, over at Sports Illustrated Stadium. And fans, banners are not going to cut it this time. They just run up with a tifo. Still not good enough. Never mind tifo. They'll probably use that set fire to the stadium. I don't know. But
no, come on.
they're not going to do that. But, fans are upset. Okay. I mean, I'm not discounting that. I'm not ignoring that. Fans are upset. I'm not going to apologize to the team. There's nothing to apologize, but I'm going to say this. This is on the ballers. This is on the players, okay? Ain't on the coach, ain't on the administration or anything else. It's on the administration to a degree, but the players have to step it up, okay? Not just at home, but away from home. And like it or not, even if they do make the playoffs, the scenario is the same. You're going to be on the road, Miguel, where you only picked up 7 points. You're going to be the underdog of underdogs, okay, every time you step into somebody's stadium. What are you prepared to do? Are you going to do the right thing and take care of business like you're supposed to, or are you going to slip and fall? And you can't afford to do that. Again, every game is a playoff game. You already lost one game. You lose another, you might have to just, play for the string because you ain't getting in. It's that simple. Even if you do have some teams ahead of you, the schedule will do you a solid. You can't depend on your teams. You got to take care of business at home, and that's why I feel that a win is not just, necessary. Critical. You got to take care of business, like it or not.
Right.
I mean, Lisa's saying you think would tie 2-2. Dom, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think a draw helps us out at all.
No, draw does not help us. No. +3 is much better than +1.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, you got it. Tom is actually hoping that the boys make you eat your words. That's got to be
Please. I'm begging them.
And of course, we'll see Kabbalah when we play Portland down the stretch. So that's how it is, boys and girls. It is what it is. I mean, I know folks are upset. I know folks are angry. I hear you. But unless you're able to wave a magic wand and turn these guys into the second coming of Barcelona or the second coming of Real Madrid, nah, it's not going to be neat. So I guess we're going to end the show by asking the question: who do we blame? I mean, we both agreed, Miguel, that the coach ain't the one to blame. So
I don't think the coach is the one to blame. No.
So who do we blame? Let's see if we can find some sort of agreement.
You have to blame the front office, okay? Although I don't know what the inner workings of Red Bull are the owners preventing the transfer of X player here or what, They're not doing but like I said, I can't imagine they are. So it has to be the front office, because they can certainly
on
do
the sporting side. Let's understand
the distinction. On the sporting side,
right.
Yeah.
There are two squads.
Because
there's the business side. Well, these are the guys who get the sponsorships, the tickets, and blah blah blah. And then there's the sporting side. These are the guys who are responsible for getting the players and the coaches and yada yada yada.
Yeah, because my feeling is that they can certainly do what other teams in this league have done.
Agreed.
Brought in players from within the league, Okay, there's every season MLS veterans switch teams. Okay,
Agreed.
you know, most of the time it's not to us, or when it is, like we got that guy Edwards from Montreal, and he's not that good, Garry. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Okay,
all right.
And not only that, maybe they can look for a gem within USL, for instance, but they could certainly bring in guys from Central America, from Mexico, and from some other like South American teams, as other teams within the league have done. Okay, I know there are some that will say something. Hey, listen, but they tried. They tried. No. Other MLS teams do it. Okay, our team for some reason cannot do the same. Okay, if we had a few more players that could link up well with Chupo and Emil, okay, maybe in that level or just under. But what we have is a bunch of like.
Unfortunately, he's injured.
Yeah, right. Right. But that guy was always injured, Garry. How about bringing in somebody that can cover his spot? Okay, but we do have a bunch of guys.
So the question is who?
Right. But other teams answer questions like that. Okay, other teams, but like we were talking about Philly before, right?
Yeah.
They have a better team than we do overall. With no fancy players, Garry.
No.
Okay.
No, and the thing that makes me, it makes it irritating that they lose to Philly like this is because they're beating you with the style that you're supposed to own. Okay. They're beating you senseless with the style and the methodology that you guys are supposed to own. It's like they jacked they jacked it, and now they're going to hurt you with it. So, when I say there has to be a change, I don't necessarily mean a ownership change. No, there has to be, there has to be a change in the front office and a paradigm that says, okay, we're not losing to anyone anymore. We're going to die trying. And the best way to do that is to change the culture of the club. I think the culture of the club is fine. I don't think it needs a tweak. I believe it needs a grand overhaul, okay? Because, what you're doing to Sandro, to me, is a disgrace, okay? This is a guy that took a bunch of guys, some of them were wounded. Most of them were not even complete. Took them to one game to a championship. Let me repeat that. Took this guy, which means that he can able to inspire some guys to win games. My problem with that is you don't give this guy enough bullets to his gun, and he's got to go into, into a gunfight. Some guys have more, more firepower than they do, and somehow get out of it. This is the thing that I'm really, really getting sick of. For the last 2.5 seasons, we've been running a team with no depth. None, Miguel. None.
Yeah.
And somehow he made it to the final.
Right.
Somehow. But
now just imagine if we had Choupo-Moting at MLS Cup, Garry. Come on.
I mean,
come on.
Imagine you're looking at Choupo-Moting. I'm looking at Andres Reyes. Andres Reyes.
Okay, you're right.
If he was fit and healthy, those 2 goals scored by LA don't happen.
I don't think they happen too. You're right.
Maybe 1, damn sure not 2.
Yeah.
Noah Ella, he had to be pressed into service while he was sick.
Yeah.
That's our bench.
Right.
That's our bench. And and I agree with you. And I agree with you, Carlos. No one in the front office answer for it. They got to answer for this. Fans are getting tired of the same BS answers all the time. all the time, every time, and it's getting annoying. It really is. I mean, it's really getting annoying. And I don't mean to take up too much of the time or something but to talk about this, but this is how much it angers me so. It angers me so because this shouldn't happen to a club like this. Shouldn't happen. Fan base deserves more. A lot more. I understand that if people say, "Oh, the fan base doesn't care." I know one guy in particular that does care. Okay? And he and his crew is gonna somehow try to sell this, to the general public. And unfortunately, general public say, we ain't interested. And rightfully so. So things have to change. It definitely, as far as the presser is concerned, it's not going to be for the general public. It will be out there for most of the guys in the media. I will definitely try to give you the information as we go along. But you can able to find that, of course, on Twitter. You're better off you can try that with me because I'll at least give you the data, what's going on and everything else. And that will take place on Thursday. We will find out exactly what are those answers, if any. There's going to be some guys there. Anthony will be there. I'm sure he's going to press on to get some information. We'll see where it gets from there. I mean, the funny thing, there's a reason why most of these sporting directors don't make themselves available for the media because of this. Just basically telling folks, just be easy.
They used to have town halls, Garry.
Well, yeah. I was there for all three, and okay, I was over there all three, and all three of them basically. The first one was as a matter of fact, I think it's still around on YouTube. If you look for it, it's still there.
Why did you fire Becky one?
Yeah, that one. I happen to know the gentleman that actually very passionate guy. I happen to know the gentleman who said it, and he hasn't shown his face since. He apologized for it because he was really upset, as most of every one of us. I mean, it's the show that never ends, and I hate it when teams wind up like this because you don't know what you're going to get. But hopefully, that better days are upon us. And then with that, you hear those wonderful music tones. That means the show is about to end. Next week, we got, of course, Columbus Crew, and then after that, we have a international break. We're going to take one of our few. This is going to be strange, Miguel. There's going to be international break. Then we got NYCFC. Then yet there's another international break before we all wrap it up. Hopefully the season doesn't end at that point.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a very special guest with us for the Hudson River Derby. We're hoping to have Mr. Abramowitz join us and give his take on NYCFC. So look forward to that. I've already sent out the invitation. Hopefully he joins us. It should be a lot of fun there. Miguel, thank you so much for joining us. And for all of you, thank you all so much for joining us. And being with us for this last hour. We will see you next week. Hopefully we have a happy recap as we have Nicholas and the coach, Mark Coates, join us on that broadcast. Once again, if you happen to miss our wonderful show during the live broadcast, you can always catch it, of course, on demand on Wednesday midnight on YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. X, which is of course Twitter, and of course our home from the very beginning, Spotify.com.
Come on, you Gunners, Garry. Come on, you Gunners. Okay, thank you.
Wait, who are they playing next? The Gunners.
Liverpool.
This is gonna be fun.
That's a massive game this coming week.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why my girlfriend wants me. Wants me up that night because we're gonna be watching that game. Of course, NYRBDG the podcast at gmail.com is our email address. If you have any questions about the show and everything else, feel free to write in. We also read your posts and everything else. So that's it for us, boys and girls. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, for Miguel Nunez and myself, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.